let's get into this one.
Yo, what's good, everybody? This is the Sausage Boys podcast.
Woo!
We got Jackson and K-Dot here.
I love shape of your penis.
You know what? Actually,
penis.
I was before we started the potty, I went and because I connected my AirPods.
Yeah.
So I had to like test the microphone and audio settings on Zoom.
Okay.
So I went down and clicked it. I was like, test audio, and it came up and it was like, can you hear this? Beep. And I clicked yes.
Okay. Yeah, he's trying to say the N word.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
It was like, can you hear this? And it just made a beep, and I clicked yes, and then it said say something. So then I said the N word, and it repeated it back to me, and it said, can you hear this? And I clicked yes.
Okay.
And it said, yeah, your speaker. It said, yeah, everything seems to be working great. That's like the worst test in the world. I want you to test it for me. I don't want to have to test it. You know what I mean? Isn't that like that's a weird way to test it.
Testing the audio. What? Hearing the N word.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird way to test it.
It's an interesting way. Yeah, I guess if you're in private, it's probably a fine way to test the audio. When it actually you have to repeat the N word to your Mac.
Well, I was thinking maybe I could.
But anyway, you got that new Ben Shapiro Zoom app.
I thought I could pretty much just test
it. There's something there. It doesn't even make sense. That barely even makes sense.
Like, I was like, well, I can test it because you and I like get into the, what do you call it? Into the Zoom meeting, and then we talk for a minute, and then we click record. So I was like, I can basically test it then, like while we're kind of before we begin making jokes and whatever, when we're like genuinely alt-right, before we get into making jokes about being alt-right.
Yeah. Before we actually don't laugh. We just talk completely stone-faced to each other about basically the conversation we have now, but we try to do this fake laughing to kind of make it more accessible for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
But those real conversations we had before, we were actually testing the audio here and there during those conversations.
But thank God the audience doesn't know that, and they never will.
So anyway, let's start the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here.
Karim.
No, this wasn't it. This hasn't been recorded, has it? We'll edit all this out.
What's been going on with you?
Yeah, this computer, like I don't know if the weird sound is because my computers are kind of breaking or if it's your AirPods. I can't figure it out.
Well, I tested
Frenchman
my AirPods.
helped me at the Apple store, so I'm kind of doubting a lot of things I've been told.
Oh, right.
Okay, yeah, that was that story earlier about you testing your AirPods.
So you got your laptop's playing up. You said you took it to the store.
Yeah, and I basically looked at the guy straight in his eyes, and I was like, hey, what are you guys doing to my laptop? I know there's a new MacBook coming out tomorrow. I didn't do anything. And he basically said, I think what's happened, you've probably closed the screen and there was something in between it. Did that happen? I said, no, it didn't. It just happened while I was using it. And then he said, no, I think there may have been something underneath your MacBook when you placed it down. I was like, no, there wasn't. I was just using it. And I think I got him because I'm pretty sure they mess with your Mac when there's a new product coming out.
That's like when I went to the.
I'm on the verge of discovering.
It's like when I went to the hospital to get my appendix out, and when you go into surgery, they put these like stocking kind of things on. I definitely didn't go there already wearing stockings, so you can get that out of your head. but you go there wearing like, they put these like, they're like compression socks or something like that.
How funny would that be? You just go to hospital, it's like a guy, and you're just wearing stockings, and the nurse goes to be like, oh, can you put these on? And then you basically just take off your pants, you're already wearing them.
Or they go like, can you strip
Talk
down
about it
to your...
just being funny.
They're like strip down to your underpants, and you just take your pants off, and they turn around and you're naked, and they're like, I said your underpants, and you're like, well, I wasn't wearing any.
You know, there's a real world out there of like, what is that? Is that almost like sexual harassment that you can get away with? You actually can get away with those things, like especially in that hospital system. Like, let's say you're in there because you just had some operation. You can constantly expose yourself to nurses. You can constantly expose yourself to what's it called, like room service people when you're at hotels. That's like a real thing. It's a whole industry of that kind of like sexual harassment / assault that's technically legal.
Is it though? Can you?
I think it is.
What about you put the do not disturb sign on and you just wait in your room naked and you just scribble out like the do not?
Senor, you're sensitive disturb.
I guess you could probably like rent a place that's right near like a big apartment complex and then just always be in your backyard naked. That's a good one.
Is it illegal to be in naked in an apartment when you can kind of see people?
No, surely it couldn't be, unless, I mean, they'd have to.
Think so.
It's not like a law, but I'm sure they could put a case together. If you're aggressive.
Do you know what it is? It's that little thing of even just. Okay, you got me. You got me good. You got me nicely there. You got me there, folks. But just kind of getting naked in really random scenarios, like, oh yeah, the doctor will be back in a second. When you go to see the doctor, you just take all your clothes off, and the doctor comes back. You're just nude. Like this, he would just say to put your clothes on, and not even he, like a young female doctor. She walks in, you're completely nude, like a huge, like throbbing erection.
That's so
There's
much
nothing
better.
illegal. Yeah,
that's so much better. Just not even anything to do with like, they don't even say strip down or anything. They just come back and you're fully nude
with a huge, completely boned up. There's nothing illegal about that. She'll say, oh, sorry. No, you don't have to take your clothes off. And you'd be like, oh, sorry about that. There's little things like that, and the way you play it off is a real thing.
What about, are you allowed to like...
What about what?
Can you get like a massage and then just slowly like kind of rub your groin on the table? Can you do that?
You can get away with a lot. In terms of getting massages, yeah, again, so much is allowed. Even the idea of just getting completely nude in a massage and just kind of exposing yourself to the masseuse. She just walks in, you're on your back, completely boned up. Just a professional massage. Do you know what I mean? Like and even like like a gym. If you go to a gym late at night, they have like cleaning crews. You can just be walking around the change rooms completely nude as the cleaners. At some point, they have to clean the change rooms. And you can wait for them. And when they come, you can just specifically start to get nude and do whatever you want. And again, you're just like playing with yourself. He's like, no, I'm moisturizing.
Yes.
So anyway, you can moisturize the entire time the cleaning crew has to clean the change rooms.
That's true. What else there's a lot you could kind of get away with, but I think as soon as there's like two people with a similar story.
You can get away with a lot.
There's like that masseuse, and they just so happen to be hanging out with that doctor.
Yeah.
And they're like, so I had this person the other day, and they kind of...
You're completely nude.
And that kind of
Again,
thing.
I don't think it's illegal.
That's how you end up with your Weinsteins and your CKs. There's
Oh,
people putting stories together. Before that, they're like, I'm the
but
only
you know what
one.
it is it's fine. And again, it's all about navigating that area of what's fine and what isn't fine. Like if you're jerking off in a hotel room and the cleaning service comes, housekeeping comes in, you say, "Oh, come in," and they see you. There's nothing illegal about that. But if you're doing kind of like a Louis C.K. thing, it kind of becomes a little bit more blurred. I don't think the housekeeping would ever like go to the authorities. The doctor will never say this man was completely nude in my practice. And then you see that same doctor and it's like, okay, I'll be right back. Like the second time you go to see him, it's like, okay, you better hurry up because each minute I take another item of clothing off.
What about the doctor is like, you go to the doctor for like erectile dysfunction and they come back in the room and you're like, I'm cured.
Yeah.
And you just got a fully erect penis kind of pointing straight at them like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That works.
Yeah, because it's funny. Or even like, let's say you're a funny teacher, right? You're a funny teacher at a high school. Mm-hmm. You wear the Borat G-string to the swimming carnival.
The mankini.
The mankini. Completely boned up. This grey area. Or is this wrong or is this just funny?
What about...
Because again, probably the 70s would just be hilarious. But nowadays, all that stuff that used to be hilarious is now kind of questionable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Everything that's funny in the past is now questionable. So what's funny now? It's going to be questionable soon.
Questionable soon. Well, I guess, getting completely nude in front of your doctor is fine. What are some other areas? What if you just like at the vet?
You're at the vet. You get completely.
You're like, I'll be right back. You just come in, you're completely nude. Okay. Oh, sorry.
You get completely nude at the vet, and they come back in, and they're like, "Oh God." You're like, "Why isn't mine?" He's like, "Mine." Just get your dog. Wait,
you just want to know.
I'm just gonna turn your video off for a little bit.
Stop the lag. Sick. Hopefully, help that lag out a little bit. Oh, okay. That's
yeah.
A lot nice. Sick. What's new? Anything we gotta? Because again, for the people who don't know, we're now a news show. We're gonna be covering like the latest headlines, what's going on in the world. Yeah, we're a news show.
Yeah.
So, what's going on this week in the news?
What do we got?
I had a fun little one. How about instead of Ed Sheeran, it's getting head Sheeran?
That's good.
I explored that one at the start of this episode, and he is like wanting people to put his guitar inside of him. And then, as I was saying, he's loving the shape of your penis. And then I thought, how about instead of Ed Sheeran, it's Red Sheeran, and he's been red-pilled. And instead of thinking out loud, it's thinking about loud. And loud is short for the conservative YouTube show Louder with Crowder.
Right, yeah.
So he's Ed Sheeran, but he's been red-pilled. And shape of you was a warning to plus-size people that it's bad for their health. It's a big show about fat shaming, but in kind of a conservative way that, no, I'm just looking out for your health. Don't be overweight, you're going to die. Red Sheeran. Ladies and gentlemen, Red Sheeran. So
what about
Led
Sheeran? And he's just like a singer-songwriter that puts a bullet in his head.
I like that one. You've got Ed Sheeran You've got Med Sheeran. He's like a young kid studying medicine at university, and
And what happens to him?
and he's he's also been red pilled. So in the classes about gender, he's like, "See, there's two genders." He's saying that to everyone. It's kind of like Med Sheeran with a bit of red Sheeran there. And he brings up a whole bunch of studies on the difference between races. And he's like, hey, I'm not meaning to be offensive. There's this difference in races.
You're like, we're a news show now. And then getting all these bits about Ed Sheeran. Hey guys, we're a news show now. So what if Ed Sheeran is actually red pilled?
Yeah, so change it up, folks. Changed it up. Ed Sheeran. Shed Sheeran, and he like sheds a whole bunch of hair. He's a dog, and then he's also kind of red pilled, and he's like, I'm glad I have owners of different sexes because it's natural. This doctor was telling me earlier it's better for a child to be brought up in a house with a father and a mother, not two of the same sex. There's something there. There's something there, folks.
What about Fed?
Definitely something there.
What about Fed Sheeran? And he just goes and like gives guns to the ghetto.
Bed Sheeran, okay.
For some reason.
And the bed should be reserved for a married couple. That's all.
Any kind of married couple, or?
No, a couple of different sex. And they should also be, best case scenario, white, or of the same ethnicity. There shouldn't be really any mixing ethnicities there. But yeah, folks, we have been talking about the news. That's big in the news lately.
Speaking of...
Dead Sheeran, and he's a deadhead. Grateful Dead fan. And he follows them
Dead Sheeran goes around dead naming transgender people.
Hey, Alex. And he's like, I told you I'm Alexa now. He's like, hey, Alex. I know my friend Alex is there. Sorry, that's who I grew up with. My friend Alex.
What's up, Bruce?
I still call him really Bruce Jenner. Like, what are you talking about? I'm Dead Sheeran.
What about said Sheeran? And he's
okay
because he said the N-word on TV.
So what are you talking about? Sorry, they use it in rap songs. How come I can't use it? How come they use it on the bloody train every single bloody afternoon and I can't bloody use it in front of my friends singing a song? It's in the bloody lyrics.
How funny is pleading ignorance? Like, just like exactly that.
It's called
like,
N-words in Paris.
Why can't I say that? And it's like, you know why I said it.
You know exactly why. How come you're saying that with a smirk on your face? I like that idea, to say the N-word and just in front of black people, be like, wait, why can't I say that with an huge smirk on your face? Just be like a huge smile, be like, why can't I say that? How come you guys can say it and we can't?
You know what? So like, you know how I saw like a video of someone wearing like a red and a blue bandana in like some ghetto.
Right.
They were doing like a prank thing.
Okay, yeah. What are those YouTube kind of pranksters?
Exactly, yeah. And they got like rolled by these dudes who were like, must have been in like a gang or something. They're like, you think you can like play here?
And let's just say, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was watching that like,
I know exactly what you're saying. And there's a word for those people. And why can't I be able to call them that?
if only there was some
If
kind
they're
of
going to commit such
redheaded
atrocities, how come I
singer-songwriter
can't
that
call
could.
them that word?
Yeah, so I'm watching that thinking.
Complete ignorance enough to be able to say that word. Yeah.
I was watching it like, oh, it's hectic that these people would think it's fine, would be fine to go, like, to have someone in your area wearing
Yeah.
something that pisses you off that much, I think is crazy.
Yes.
Until I started seeing hijabs in Newtown. What do you think? That's actually a pretty good bit. I might have to use that.
That's a very, very good bit. And this is, again, a bit we've been talking about for years, because Jackson's always been in denial of not having an issue with other ethnicities and cultures coming to Newtown. But that's a great one. That's a great one.
A very funny
Now
bit.
I know how the Bloods and the Crips feel when people are wearing red. They're basically a hijab.
That's a good bit. That's a real good bit.
That's a very good bit there.
Did you hear about... So R. Kelly, like he's been sentenced and everything like that.
Yeah.
For...
What about R. Word Kelly? And he's mentally disabled. So, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Am I going to do the voice? Am I going to do the voice? Can I commit to the voice? No, I'm just going to talk normally. What do you mean? Isn't that how you have sex with women? What do you mean age? What? What do you mean she was underage? What does that even mean? I'm R. Word Kelly. He's like, yeah, sorry, Your Honor. He doesn't understand the difference in ages. He just thought it was a nice lady. And he wanted to urinate on her because he assumed that's how babies are made. Because his father did that to him. We have a whole bunch of evidence. He's gone through enough trauma himself. This is learned behavior.
And said Sheeran's also getting convicted that same day. And he's like, yeah, I also didn't know you could do that. I also didn't know that was a problem. And they're like, yes, you did, Seth.
And stop smirking at us. We can see you're smirking. But yeah, R. Kelly.
He's like, said Sheeran's like, duh. He's like, what's wrong with that? That's just a noise I make sometimes. That's just a noise I make sometimes. Not associated with anything. They're like, that's very insensitive for you to do. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you mean? This is how I talk when I have a toothbrush in my mouth. This is how I talk when I have a toothbrush. But there's nothing wrong with that. I know I'm smirking right now. This is how I talk when I have a toothbrush in my mouth. I'm sorry. Is there something wrong with talking like this?
What, are you saying there's something wrong with talking like this and anyone that talks like this
is less than?
Yeah, so no, R. Kelly, his album sales have gone up 500% since he was found guilty.
Yes. I think the truth is that's just normal people being like, who's R. Kelly? What does the R stand for? This could be a really funny idea. If this is true and that's what the R stands for, this would be hilarious. And then they listen to the music and they're like, oh, no, it's not.
It stands for a four-letter word.
Yes. That he
did you know R is actually his middle name? His first name is Statutory.
Oh, nice. Nice. That's good. That's a very good one.
That was a good joke.
We give him the clicks, folks. That was good.
Statutory.
But yeah, R. Kelly's record sales going up. Again, do you think there's going to be kind of like pedophiles listening to R. Kelly? Do you think it's kind of like he speaks for us? I'm
Um,
sure there would be a subsect of pedophiles that are like, no, this guy's one of us. He's on our team. It's like people from like Australia. Like you listen to an Australian artist, you're like, oh no, he kind of knows where I'm coming from. Pretty similar life. I'm sure if a pedophile would listen to music, they would be more inclined to listen to R. Kelly. Imagine like you're
yeah,
getting,
that makes sense. It tracks.
yeah. Imagine you're just like you're a 14-year-old kid. You were
Yep.
just sexually assaulted by R. Kelly. He's left the room, and then you go and look at his phone, and he's got like, oh, actually no, just by a pedophile, and this dude has R. Kelly in his playlist.
Yeah.
Like, is that too on the nose? Is that hack?
Hmm.
I'm sure it would have to be.
Can you just wear R. Kelly merch, or do you have to get rid of it now?
No, even with with DJing, I think this was probably a few years ago when the stuff was first coming out. I would DJ like family friendly places, and I remember I got a memo one day. It's like you can't play any Michael Jackson, you can't play any R. Kelly.
Because they're
And then
racist.
I said why? Yeah, and they're like, that's just an example. We don't listen to that N-word music. And it's the guy was said Sheeran.
I thought you were going to tiptoe around it, but you just sent it. Oh yeah, he was actually English and he had red hair. He wasn't very
I
handsome.
could have. Yeah, he wasn't. So everyone was like, thank goodness he's got a good voice and is nice, because if he didn't, he would not sell a song.
No, I like it. I like it. I like that you went just straight for it.
Yeah, I know. There's a smart way, and then there's yeah, said Sheeran was the guy who told me that, folks.
Um, true. Oh, but actually, yeah, I mean, it does make sense. Oh, wait, you were saying about the DJ. They said don't play that.
Yeah, they just said a huge thing. You're not allowed to play any R. Kelly. You're not allowed to play any Michael Jackson.
And you said, fine, I'm not playing.
So, and then you just, again, it's all about this line. Is it illegal to have like an R. Kelly feature? Can you play like the best of both worlds, Jay-Z and R. Kelly? It's not technically an R. Kelly song, or even if R. Kelly's just in a feature. Is that illegal? Is that, what about the, doesn't matter, don't matter to me, like that Drake song with Michael Jackson? What about samples? You go into that area where it's like, can I have a song that has like a Michael Jackson vocal sample underneath it? And you just keep on doing that all night, and you try to make the families as uncomfortable as possible.
You're like, okay, I can't play any R. Kelly. Yeah, true. But can I still urinate on
They were like, yeah.
underage girls?
They were like, so yeah, just don't play any. It's good you haven't been playing any R. Kelly or Michael Jackson, but you have to put some clothes on. This isn't a doctor's office. I know it's hot, but we've tried to have. I know there are issues with the aircon. Even that's a great one. What if there's just issues with the aircon in a public place and you just take your clothes off? It's like, you better get this fixed. Like, you're at an airport or even on a plane and there's aircon issues. Taking your clothes off. Like, sorry, you haven't provided me a way to cool down, so I'm having to take matters into my own hand.
Yes.
This isn't sexual. This isn't a kink. I don't want to have to do this. However, you are failing as a business. That's the angle I like.
What about you take all your clothes off and try and remove someone else's clothes, and they're like, "What the hell are you doing?" And you're like, "You've got to huddle up, or else we're gonna freeze." We're gonna freeze out here.
That's a good fit. You just go to a guy at an ice skating rink. He's like, "What the hell is going on here?" He's just completely nude. He's like, "Why is it so cold? What are you guys trying to make us freeze to death?"
You know what would be the best thing? Imagine like hooking up, like if you just hooked up with a chick, and you're like, "How about I put something on?" And you just put on like ignition. pretty good. Actually, I feel like you've made that joke before on this show. Have you?
I don't think so. I don't think so. What about the first Ignition, like the non-remixed, that people don't know? And again, for someone who isn't an avid R. Kelly fan, you can get away with murder just by playing like his B cuts, like the B-sides or whatever.
Yeah. Oh.
Like more unfamiliar R. Kelly.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, there was look, I have no problem with people playing songs by this guy. It is an interesting phenomena that his sales have blown up like that. But to be honest, like I went back and I like played a few of his songs. You know what I mean?
Of course, of course. It's like the whole idea of good and bad publicity. It's publicity at the end of the day. People are going to see the name R. Kelly, R. Kelly, R. Kelly. They go on Spotify and they're going to be like, okay, let's listen to some R. Kelly.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like it ignites. It's like, oh yeah, I love that dude.
Yeah, and it's like, what the hell are you doing? That guy's evil.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just don't care. This is a great song.
Yeah, it gets to that point. Like again, a lot of people can get away with stuff, and it's the whole idea of the moral compass, like how far are you in that area? Because I know a lot of people who say they can't listen to a bunch of artists ever again. And even just like wearing clothes, and you keep on going down there, and it's like, okay, well, stop using your phone then, because da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, well, there's a particular Australian band who...
Yes, there was, actually.
Who we've spoken about very recently.
Yes. I think they came out with a new song.
Really?
Yeah, and the music video is just the sounds of them beating a woman.
Are you talking about Rancid Getting Heady?
Yeah.
True.
They came out with a new song.
I haven't heard that one, but it sounds hilarious.
It sounds absolutely hilarious and empowering for us men.
Oh yeah, the other thing with the R. Kelly thing. So Spotify's left his channel up, everyone's left it. YouTube has pulled it. And the only other person that YouTube has pulled, or maybe not the only other person, but another notable person recently, is a country singer that goes by the name Morgan Wallen.
Morgan Wallen, right.
Have you heard of him?
Sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah, so he's just this like white dude, just like this Southern American dude.
Morgan
and he
looks cool. He was like drunk on the street, and it was picked up on like a door cam footage or something like that. Oh yeah, I think I know what you're about to say.
He dropped the N-bomb.
Yes.
And his album sales rose 1,200%.
That is amazing. Like, I would love for him to kind of do an what's it called, an acoustic version of N-Words in Paris. And he's just like, what are you talking about? This is just a song. And
maybe my band should do that. Earhart, by the way. Listen to
yeah,
Earhart.
that's where I got the inspiration from.
That version that I just played in my house by myself.
Played the before the podcast conversation we had, that was in the background. But yeah, I would love for like him to do something and just kind of get to number one on trending. But then I guess if he's being pulled from YouTube, I remember seeing that clip a while ago and I was like, it seemed fun. It wasn't done in a hateful way. I think he was using it kind of like just to describe his other white friend. He was just acting like a wigger, which again would have been a really good defense.
True. Yeah, I mean,
Is that what I'm from the
yeah,
South? I have an accent.
his album sales went up like 1,000% after he used the N word once. So
Yeah.
my album sales should go up like 24,000%
Okay.
just from this afternoon.
It gets to that point where it's like, I know what's it called? Chet Hanks uses it in songs, but it just doesn't come across as anything. I think it's
True.
the whole country audience. They're kind of like seeing it as a rebellion and like freedom of speech. You should be able to say whatever he wants. Da 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 da. Let's support the boy.
Country audience saying that, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. Oh, well, I guess if you're looking at percentages, maybe his number was easier to blow up in such a way. You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
He might have had a niche audience, and then it kind of went massive after that. Whereas R. Kelly might already have a big fan base.
Go. Morgan Wallen. He's followed by Candace Owens. Interesting. And the Nelk Boys. Another dude. It's funny who kind of follows. He's got like 2 million followers.
Yeah, well, I guess a lot of people can just look at it for what it is and be like, well,
Yeah, that's true. He's just making
actually,
good music. It was just silly.
he said he was like drunk as well, and he went to rehab after it, which is just hilarious in and of itself. Like,
Oh, serious?
oh yeah, like being like, oh my god, I know I've got a problem when I'm saying like the N word.
He walks into the room. The teacher's a guy with red hair. He can't really make out what's going on. He turns around. Okay, good morning, class. Welcome to Not Saying It 101. I get where you guys are coming from. I wish I could say it right now, but it's been 293 days since I've used the word. And then everyone gives him a round of applause. And said Sheeran's Not Saying It class. And what even if there was like a N-word user, an anonymous meeting you could go to? Where you can just go to make, you can just go there to make friends.
True. It's like going to like a, what do you call it? Like a drug rehabilitation place and like selling crack there.
Yes. Or even I was thinking about like, imagine back in the day, if gay men had conversion groups, like literally like a there's a term I want to use. It's so funny. C-word suckers anonymous. That's a funny skit, and it is a whole bunch of gay men go there, and it's obviously just kind of a cruising zone and a pickup zone. But you go there and say, "Yeah, we're going to stop being gay."
Oh.
Cool.
Wait, when did you go? When did you go to this?
No, it was based on, you were telling me earlier. I think you went to something like that. Or no, it was a dream or something you had, or like this idea of the perfect world.
Yeah, that's
what we're talking about. Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, did you see 6ix9ine Spotify page?
Yeah, I think I refreshed my memory.
Yeah, what happened? Because he apparently also had a huge rise in a bunch of his plays on Spotify, but just from one account called Jackson Grant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. It happened like right after he changed his display photo on Spotify to like a huge dong.
Right. Which is funny.
And I wonder if it's still there.
Because I remember you telling me you had a huge rise in your pants. Well, it wasn't huge. It was kind of like a minuscule rise in your pants, but like a huge rise proportionately when you watch Brokeback Mountain. So.
Oh, really? Did I? Yeah, I did after they killed Jake Gyllenhaal for being gay. I did. I was like, thank goodness. I was like, good.
Right. Well, yeah, there you go.
That means there's more room for heterosexual men. Yeah, I did have a big rise during that scene. But yeah,
Really?
6ix9ine. I just looked. It's gone back now. It's now his face. Oh, it's his face with his mouth open. I wonder if it's a troll. Like, it's a funny. That's very funny. That's a good troll.
6.
Like, if you look at 6ix9ine Spotify right now, it's him screaming, or like his mouth is open extremely wide. So I think it's in retaliation to the other photo.
That was no, I think that's what it was before, wasn't it?
I don't think so.
But yeah, what exactly happened? Someone hijacked his Spotify page, changed the photos and bio.
Did they change the bio? That would have been pretty funny.
Yeah, they changed the bio. Did you not see it?
Oh, serious? No, I didn't see. I didn't even look at the bio. I just saw the image and then had to run to the bathroom for no reason.
Oh, okay. Here, I'll get it up now. Just like you did when you were watching.
Just like your let's think. Just like your.
Okay, so they. What did they say? I grew up wanting to be Trippy Red.
Oh gosh, here we go.
It's pretty good. It's good even if he did that, and I wouldn't be surprised either.
I feel it was like again he's hanging around like Steve Will Do It and some of the Nelk boys and stuff like that. They probably just grabbed it and went to go do it, and he said, "Oh no, that'd actually be hilarious." Because it's awkward because he's like in a period where he's fallen off and he's lost all his confidence and going through a depression.
Has he?
Yeah.
Is that what's going on?
That is what's going. Because again, I don't know if you're too familiar. Do you watch like the Steve Will Do It videos or anything, or any of the Nelk Boy videos?
Wait, he changed the picture to a big erect penis. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's so funny.
It was a good bit.
Good. That's really good.
Yeah, it was a really great bit.
Because I feel like that would almost get banned by Spotify itself. I've never seen any kind of like pornographic kind of material.
That's true. Oh, I guess it's art. It was a good piece as well. Like, it was a good dong on the dude.
It's a good dong on the dude, that's for sure.
Like, it was a nice. Like, I'm looking at the some articles on Pedestrian, and the amount of wide-eyed emojis they have to do to cover it is honestly hilarious. Like, what do they got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 emojis to cover your bird.
That's pretty good.
Like, that's what emoji would I use? I would use
the mouse.
The mouse emoji. I would use the folks. This is how jokes are made. And that's at the end of the day. People want to know. This is how joke writing's done. It does involve a lot of pauses.
I want to look at actually, you know what? I don't even care about the episode. Let's just look at emojis for a little while.
Yeah, I'm looking at emojis. What about the chopstick emojis? I don't think they've been used enough, kind of in a racist way.
True.
I mean, like, what's it called? Hyung Jung or someone from Squid Game. If people were just to do a whole bunch of chopstick emojis commenting on her photos, would they get banned? Is it even offensive? What if Ed Sheeran did it? What are we talking about? She's good looking. She's making me hungry. What you mean? I just did the chopstick emoji. What? What's wrong with that?
Well, yeah, and then he's like, what do you mean? I do that with everyone. It's like, do you really do that with everyone? Show us
Do you
anyone
really do that? It's like, of course I can't now. I can't even think. I do it that many times. I do it literally with everyone. It's like, yeah, we can see if you commented. And you only seem to be doing it to Asian celebrities.
And he's like, oh, they Asian celebrities. I just don't really even see kind of that.
Or I assume they don't see that. It's like, what do you even mean by that, Red? I don't know.
No,
what do you think I mean by that? It's said, yeah, said. I just don't think they even see it. And it's like, okay, what do you even mean by that?
He's like, well, they don't open my messages. I can only assume that's because...
It's a good bit, folks.
You know what? Actually, talking about this, I'm like, man, maybe, because I'm like, it's obviously comedy, but I'm like, maybe this is racist because because not being racist, you're meant to just be like, oh no, those things don't exist.
Yes, and it's a very it's layered because this guy said Sheeran represents a character.
Yes.
We see in a lot of real life scenarios.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And that's why it's funny, because when you're doing this guy, you're saying, what do you think? What do you think I mean by that? It's a real thing.
Yeah.
And it's making fun of something real that exists. But yeah, it's even going into this topic, because again, I feel this topic is going to be discussed for the next few years. But I was even looking up, what was it? It was a definition of satire or something like that on Twitter that was going around. And it was basically, it was the wrong definition. And someone was like, see, satire does not involve punching down. It only involves critiquing in the upper class.
Are you kidding?
Honestly, someone posted that, it went semi-viral, and everyone basically, and then it was like, yeah, see, you shouldn't, and if you have to be offensive, not only are you not doing satire, you're unfunny. And then just underneath it, people are just sending through the correct definition of satire. It's a very awkward place, especially when something like that can go viral. It's quite dangerous just for an understanding of language, comedy, and just the world and purpose and intent.
True. Yes.
But I guess I'm going to literally look it up. I'm going to look up what satire means.
Right. I think it is. In the meantime, I'll just sit here in silence.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. This is great.
Damn it! I was hoping it was going to be way longer than that.
I know. Well, if that was funny, I would have taken as long as I possibly could. But I just started reading this and I was like, no, this is actually really interesting. What the use of humor, irony, exaggeration, or ridicule to expose and criticize people's stupidity or vices, particularly in the context of contemporary politics and other topical issues. That is great. That's exactly what we're doing.
Can you say it again?
I know. I want to say this. I want to shout it from the rooftop. The use of humor, irony, exaggeration, or ridicule to expose and criticize people's stupidity, perfect, or vices, particularly in the context of contemporary politics and other topical issues.
That's perfect.
That's literally hit the nail on the head. That's exactly when we're making all these jokes, that's exactly what we're trying to do. In my head, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. That's what I think I'm doing. That's what I think we're doing all the time. Whenever we get up on stage and people are oohing and ahhing, we're being satirical. Like,
You know,
and again, everything I watch is literally doing that.
I was thinking the other day how, because I was like kind of fuming about that kind of thing, people not understanding that irony.
Yeah.
We talk about this all the time, but it's like the world does take all different kinds. Like, I don't want everyone to be like.
And Jackson also takes all different kinds of
Viagra's before I have sex with women.
With men.
Especially my girlfriend.
Before, different kinds of penises. It's what he takes. Sorry, folks. I think there may have been an issue there. But yeah, what were you saying there?
I don't even know.
Oh yeah, life takes all different types of
people. I don't want everyone to really agree. It's just scary when people can. It's not just sitting there and going, "This isn't for me." This isn't for me, and fuck those people. I'm gonna find a way to make no one else enjoy it.
Because again, I want people to listen to what we do and then read the definition of satire and actually ask themselves, is that what they're doing? Is that what they were doing there? Is that what they were doing?
That's crazy, man. Can you send that to me?
I honestly didn't think it would be worded that perfectly. Like, that's just...
Oh, this is literally the definition on Google. Yeah, right.
This is the definition on Oxford Languages. First Google search, satire. Like,
yeah,
and again, to criticize people's stupidity or vices, that's everything. That's literally...
Are you following that original post with the definition that someone posted?
Sorry?
Are you following that original post on Twitter? The definition that someone posted?
No, this would have been a while ago. I think it just came up. It just came up. I think I may have been following someone who liked it.
Isn't it weird? It's just so strange to be like, I'm going to find this thing that is people's defense and change the definition so it doesn't make sense.
Literally. And when I read it, I was kind of like, oh gosh, that's completely off. Like, satire being used to critique the upper class, to critique and call out the upper class, to call out the noble. I think that's just a completely different thing.
No, I think it's like looking around and going, everything's funny. Everything's so cooked and funny. Like, South Park is just like the kings of being satirical, and it's everything. They don't have an agenda except for saying everything's dumb.
On it, and it's like everyone really gets it at the end of the day. Like, especially the whole idea of an exaggeration. Like, even, what was it, last night or something, I went to a Middle Eastern restaurant, got takeaway, and then I go home to my family, and I'm like, I'm just so glad. I told them that I was saying to the shopkeeper, I was like, I'm just so glad I'm seeing you deliver me food, and you're not sitting next to me on an airplane. And I say that to my family, and they all think it's just hilarious. And I just kind of double down on it. Because I just like, because I know how you people get. Like, and everyone in my family, we're talking about from 50 to 80, 85. They understand where I'm coming from. They understand the nuanced satire in that statement. Because at the end of the day, people understand it, but I think most people are choosing not to.
Yeah.
In order to kind of bring up something they're fighting for. But again, we're all on the same side at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. It's just... Well, we're not all on the same side.
For the most part, people are all... And again, there are people who actually... Again, it's the whole idea if people are doing this not wanting to be funny, like we are before the podcast, That's a very different topic.
Yeah.
Like they're not in the area of comedy. They're just saying these things. And that does exist. But it's very rare to see that in the context of comedy.
Yeah,
again, most of the time it's the voice for the voiceless. It's kind of fighting back. It's, for the most part, comics are all on the same side.
Yes.
I think.
I mean,
again, they kind of differ in certain things, but yeah, I don't know. I think most comics I've kind of watched throughout my life, and even like you go back to 2002, everyone's kind of early 2000s, everyone's kind of a bit left. Like they're kind of lefties at the end of the day. I feel there's like an overwhelming majority of lefties in comedy. And I feel most of 100%. These people who are butting heads are on the same team. Which is where it becomes kind of awkward. Yeah. But this is a conversation we could talk about forever.
More on this.
But yeah, anything else?
Every episode we do.
Until forever.
What else? There was one other thing I did want to talk about. Maybe we could wrap after this. Because I think it's probably around time.
Oh, that's true. It should be. How about takeaway TT? But it's takeaway sucking on Rita Ora's TTs. They feel really good in my mouth. They're really good. Rita Ora.
Really? That's good.
And it's like, oh yeah, no. It's good you've got a pop star girlfriend. Like, what are you talking about? She makes music? Yeah. Apparently she's a platinum selling artist. It's like, I had no idea. There's something there about him.
No, like, I had no idea. And then you remove their mask and it's actually said Sheeran, pleading ignorance. Yet again. And it's like, said Sheeran. So you're not
Sheeran. You're not actually Taika Waititi. Was that you doing that horrible, unfunny, not even close accent as well?
Yeah,
I guess so. I just think Rita Ora is known as more of a model and a personality than she is for her music. Because I can't name one song that she's ever made. Don't you think that's weird? A woman to be in music and no one to be able to name one song she's done.
Oh, pleading ignorance is so funny. I got to plead more ignorance.
100%.
It's just lying. At the end of the day, it's literally just lying.
It's lying, but in such a funny way. Like it's lying but fun. Wait, what do you mean? Wait, what? Really?
I had no idea.
Like, I use the disabled bathrooms every single time I'm in public.
Really?
And I know if anyone asks me, I'll be like, oh gosh, really? I didn't even know.
Right.
I work myself up when I'm kind of doing that to the point where it's like, I could be in a wheelchair right now. And I'm just using the bathroom. So if anyone's at the door, they just have to wait for me. Because I could be in a wheelchair.
Yeah, true.
And there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing if I was in a wheelchair. And I get myself so worked up with this lie that I actually kind of end up believing it.
All of a sudden you're R. Kelly.
So what are you talking about? You just sexually assaulted hundreds of teenagers. You're like, oh, did I?
I wasn't even going for that. I was going for...
Oh, you weren't even going for that?
I was going for R. Kelly. What does the R stand for?
Okay, nice. There we go. Yeah, that actually makes a lot more sense.
There we go.
But yeah, what else is going on in the world?
Oh, the other thing, the last thing I wanted to talk about was the Nobel Prize Awards.
Oh,
So
yes.
they have said no to including a gender and ethnicity quota for their awards.
What about there's a guy who just records himself for like a year, ripping bells off and taking bells off like buildings and statues and things. And then he kind of presents that as his case. And they're like, what are you talking about? This is the Nobel Prize, right? I've gotten rid of 16,000 bells all over the world.
Man, that's a good bit.
So,
that's a good bit.
Yeah. So I need to leave here with something. Because I know for a fact I didn't spend the last year of my life doing this for nothing.
I will literally. You're gonna have to change my name to Led Sheeran if you don't give me this award right now.
My wife will not let me see my children. I have not seen my family in a year. I told her what I was doing. She says, that is not what the Nobel Prize is for at all. And I said, I'll show you. And I need to show her something because I have two beautiful young children who I will not be able to see if you don't give me something. But
what about it's funny that they called like a Nobel Prize award.
Oh, that's true. It's like, yeah, you may as well call it a Nobel Prize award trophy, achievement, plaque, certificate. What are they going on about? Imagine that's just like grammatically incorrect. And they kind of realize there's such an award for intellectuals that they just wouldn't be able to exist if they acknowledged it was incorrect. Like literally like professors of English is like, yeah, you know that doesn't make sense, right? It's just a Nobel Prize. And they're like, no. But yeah, so they're not having a quota. I didn't even know they had a quota for women and minorities.
I'm pretty sure they introduced they've been dabbling with the idea or something like that. But
just like you're of like a real specific ethnicity, the only one like represented, and that was your pitch is getting rid of all the bells. And because of the quota, they have to invite you. Like, we got it.
You get up on stage and go to Ed Sheeran.
And it's like, Jeremy, we're cutting this thing next year. We're just going back to white people only.
They're like, they're like, why did he even do that? We gave him the award. Like, well, all the bells are gone. He has nothing left to live for. Yeah, so the problem is it's been met with kind of public outcry, I guess, because only 6% of the Nobel prizes have gone to women since like 1901, which is when the award started.
Well, I guess they call it the Nobel Prize for a reason. They don't allow women. No Southern belles are allowed.
That was...
Yeah, they're
that was
not
like,
a winners, folks.
Say bazinga after that. Straight out of the Big Bang Theory. Well, Leonard.
There actually was called that because I don't even watch Big Bang Theory. I'm just doing a voice here. We get no Southern belles allowed. But yeah, 6% only going to women. Probably makes sense.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's been met with like public outcry. The guy who is like the head secretary or something like that, stated that the awards should go to the most worthy, and
Yes.
which is
And then yeah, okay, I'm on all night. NBA player James Worthy comes along. He stands up. He's like, yo, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I should be the most worthy. My name's James Worthy. Look, and he just comes with like birth certificate, and it's like, yeah, we get it. Your last name's Worthy.
he's like, if you don't give that award to me, I'm gonna go full lead Sheeran right now. So then they give him the award, and he gets up there, and he's like about to make a speech, and then he just shoots himself in the brain.
I knew my life meant something, and then yeah, bam, it's over. And then it's like, yeah, Jeremy, we really got to do something about this. We had the Bell guy last year. We've got James Worthy.
Someone runs in and kicks the door down, and they're like, oh, am I too late? And instead Sheeran's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, well, actually, he only told me and you that whether or not he got the award, he's going to get on stage and shoot his brains out. And said Sheeran's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, goodness gracious. But yes.
And he's like, oh yeah, R. Kelly, you know what the R stands for. Also knew.
Okay, so can we get him out?
He said he was going to run in here and say what was going on after he went to the bathroom, but there was a line in the bathroom because someone was in his specific stall. And
yeah, Your Honor, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, it's an interesting one. I think it's good because again, you go to this idea of I would hate to get a Nobel Prize, and because I've noticed this, right?
Imagine just anyone that ever gets an award and goes on stage starts blowing their brains. It just starts sweeping the entire globe. People just can't get an award without blowing their brains.
So we don't know what's going on. The last 7 Nobel Prize winners have killed themselves on stage. Yeah, we've got to do something about this. We really have to do something about this. But yeah, it goes to this idea, saying? Like, I've noticed if you just look for any movie nowadays, yeah. If there's like a woman lead and she's, let's say, Muslim, and it's about women's rights, it's going to have 100% Rotten Tomatoes rating.
Is it like, just me, or is it anytime that there's like an Islamic woman in a movie about women's rights, I'm not going to watch it?
I would have become Led Sheeran when I see that. When I see a movie like that. But yeah, it's gotten to the point, like I just looked up out of fascination recently, like what movies have gotten 100% Rotten Tomatoes. And again, you've got these classics kind of like Citizen Kane, Casablanca, all these movies from like the 50s up into like the, it becomes more rare and more rare, like as time progresses, maybe like 5 in the 2000s, maybe like 2 in 2012. But you find what I looked at, like, let's say, what is it? It's very rare to get 100% rating, but you see after 2015, you'd find like 100 or a few hundred movies a year all get 100%. And you would see this like Citizen Kane, and then you'll see this Iranian movie about like a women's suffrage in Iran, and that has 100%. And then you see another movie like that about women, and it'll have 100%. And it almost becomes offensive when it's like, okay, if you fit this box, you get 100%. Your movie is amazing. And I would love to have, I don't even know, just kind of play around with that idea of like have a movie just about a young girl growing up in Iraq or something like that. And the suffering she faces being a woman in like a small village. She grows up, a whole bunch of horrible things happen to her. She kind of manages to escape like a dangerous environment in her family, educates herself, and becomes like a renowned in like a specific field of engineering or something like that. And at the end of the movie, she takes her mask off and it's Ed Sheeran. It's like, you actually thought a woman could do this? And then the movie just ends.
And then they're like, no, sorry, you're not getting the Nobel Prize. And then they take the mask off and they're like, okay, you actually are getting the Nobel Prize.
It's just Ed taking the mask on and off. And it's like, wait, you're not getting it. Wait, you are.
How about we start doing that? How about we start doing that? Like, what if, like, in protest for things, people just start lead cheering themselves? Like, so you'll go to, say, like, you're like, oh no, I need Dave Chappelle's thing off Netflix. And it's like, prove it. And they just slide you a gun across the table.
Oh, again, yeah. You're right. Again, in all honesty, right? if a trans person in the middle of like the office space at Netflix in like San Francisco or something like that, lit themselves on fire, poured gasoline all over themselves, lit themselves on fire and burnt to death and said, this is because of Dave Chappelle, I think that would get the message across.
Mm-hmm.
I think there needs to be more passion.
How many people did you say light themselves on fire?
Oh no, if one person, if one trans kind of editor at Netflix.
What if then two people lit themselves on fire in protest of it getting taken down?
Oh. And then it becomes like a game of,
Yeah, you just see who's willing to kind of have the most people light themselves on fire.
It's just all that goes to the news. It's like, yeah, massive fires all around Southern California area. There seems to be some sort of debate over this Dave Chappelle special. It'd be a great bit.
Dave Chappelle's just sitting there like, I don't know about this man.
That's a good Chappelle.
It's almost my favorite thing, just being like injecting a situation with like a character and then just doing a really poor impression of them with nothing to do with.
Oh, I don't know about this one, man. Oh, come on now, man. That's Boosie, right? I'm Dave Chappelle.
And then Ed Sheeran's like, oh, wow.
But yeah, quickly, what I did watch recently was that How Old Is 15 Really bit by Dave Chappelle. Like, I rewatched it. That was a golden bit.
How Old Is 15 Really?
Yeah, that was a great bit.
No, that's an R. Kelly bit.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
How Old Is 15? Yeah. All right, folks. All right, moving on.
What even is that bit? Moving on.
Moving on. Something completely different now. But yeah, I was just surprised at how amazing Dave Chappelle used to be at stand-up. And I don't think he really is funny or as witty as he was back then.
Yeah, he's been goated and then can kind of ride those coattails.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to be as smart. Like, I was listening to that bit and I was like, this is just the greatest thing I've ever heard. It's just so smart.
I'll have to listen to it after the potty. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, it's one of those things, again, it always keeps getting brought up and I'm like, oh yeah, I watched that special back then. But actually just watching it recently, I was like, good Lord, that was just brilliant. Really brilliant. But,
wait, hold on. Is he talking about R. Kelly in that
Yeah, he's talking about R. Kelly in that. It's
Oh,
crazy
he
this has been going on for
literally
like
is.
20 years. Yeah, literally talking about R. Kelly.
Oh, because I just made that joke before. I didn't realize that that's what
Oh,
he was literally.
serious? Oh, yeah. No, he's literally... Because I know Dave Chappelle was like the first guy to ever talk about R. Kelly. I would like if like it literally happened the day after R. Kelly did it, and you just realize how come Dave Chappelle knew so much about this? Like, and he's been obsessed with it for like 20 years. This bit. And it's like, is anyone even asking these questions? How does Dave Chappelle know so much about this? It's like, yeah, apparently R. Kelly pissed on a girl last night. Really? How would you know that, Dave? Oh, no reason.
Yeah, he was peeing everywhere. There was pee on
He
the
was
roof. There was pee on...
She said she
She
was
kept
13. She said she was...
she kept saying, "No, don't do that." In fact, I have it on tape right now. I have it on this cassette
Not you as
tape.
well, Dave. Not you as well, Dave. What's his name stand for? It stands for R word or something.
It's like they're in court and the lawyer's playing the tape, and then Dave's like, "I think they get the picture. Don't play anymore." She goes, "Not you as well, Dave."
Yeah, I think they get the phone. They understand what he did. Turn it off. Come on, enough. But that would be a very interesting realization that Dave Chappelle was actually with R. Kelly all these times. To have such an obsession with it.
I got to watch that clip.
But yeah, what else is going on in the world? I'm annoyed at Megan Fox and MGK being everywhere. It's just getting ridiculous.
Oh my God.
It's really... I don't think there's ever been like a celebrity couple like that just everyone hates, but the media seems to keep pushing them.
It's insane. It's crazy because like I don't even hate either of them. I'm like,
same.
I'm like, fine, do your thing. And then I think I mentioned it on last week's episode, like,
yeah,
people being like, oh yeah, MGK got kicked out of rap by Eminem. And he's like, no, he didn't. He's doing this other thing now. And then it's like, if anyone was like, oh my God, I hate this couple or whatever.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, well, I'm annoyed that you feel like that. And I have to see you feel like that because I'm not annoyed about it. And then I see someone love it, and I'm like, all right, I'm annoyed that you love this thing because it fucking sucks. It's so hard to wrap my head around.
I feel the average person hates it, but I don't understand how something that's kind of not even really interesting is just everywhere. Like, I don't know why it keeps on coming up on my recommended, and it keeps on getting shown to me everywhere.
It's like, if I cared about one of them, it would be interesting. Yes. You know what I mean? It's like Leonardo DiCaprio is dating someone, or like Rihanna is dating someone. But it's like, oh my God, MGK and what's her name?
Megan Fox.
And Megan Fox. And it's like, I don't care. You really people in the slightest.
It's so strange. Like, again, even I would say, what are they trying to get across? Do they want to kind of, do they have like really rich parents or connections in the industry? Because I can't figure out why they're being pushed so much.
No, like, I don't get it.
Megan Fox probably for the last 5 years has been a D-list celebrity. MGK, I think, probably D or C list. It just doesn't make sense.
I think it's because anyone cool now is not allowed to be cool. So now we have to look at these people who are...
Yeah, I guess the D list, because I remember watching, what was it? Was it Kathy Griffin, Life on the D list or the F list or something back in the day? And she kind of had a show making fun of how unfamous she was. And it was kind of true. But nowadays, being on the D list or whatever is like, it's basically the new A.
It's just they strike me as the kind of people. It's like if you were hanging out with like MGK.
Yeah.
Say you had to go to their house, like interview them or something like that.
Yes.
And you're sitting there and MGK is like, you're like, oh, that's really interesting. I'm like, sorry, I'm probably boring you. I'm not like anyone else or something like that. I'm not, I'm kind of a controversial character. I'm not really like anyone else. And then he walks out of the room and Megan Fox walks in and she's like dressed like really provocatively. And she's like, oh, it's like, I don't want to see anything. I don't feel about either of you the way that you think I do.
I know. Even just the idea Megan Fox only made sense in 2008. That's all. Like, it's so strange. No one looks at her as, it's kind of like Britney Spears. Not even. Like, it's so strange that people are talking about Megan Fox.
Well, the other thing is, like, what is it? It was at an award show or something, and like MGK and was playing with Travis Barker on playing drums for him.
Okay. Yeah.
And then it was like Megan Fox and
and Kardashian.
Kourtney
Kardashian.
Kourtney Kardashian, yeah.
Yeah.
And they were like presenting it, and they're like, up next we have our future baby daddies, MGK and Travis Barker. And I'm like, there is no 4 less people in the planet that I care less about.
And it's wild.
It's
mental.
Wild. It's insane.
Like, can we... we just have to kind of bring that to air. I do not understand. I would love if they just... Whoever's behind this just keeps on going with it. It's probably a hilarious bit in the industry. Like, let's say... just for some weird reason, Megan Fox is at the Academy Awards and saying, and the Academy Award for Best Actor goes to, and she's just presenting. Or like MGK is just hosting the Academy Awards.
Right, like they take it that far.
That's kind of what I'm hoping. Like they just keep on going with this bit.
Whoever's in control of this just keeps giving them opportunities, and they're just like, I'll take that.
It's like a test. I feel it's a test in Hollywood, maybe. It'd be like, let's see if we can make these no names be in the conversation nonstop. I can't scroll social media without seeing their faces.
She's not. It's crazy. It's like maybe the whole thing is like you're getting 2 for the price of 1 almost. You know what I mean? Like, say you're putting together a music festival, you can't blow your budget all on like too many headliners, so you have to have some people in the B tier, the A tier, the D tier, and these are just 2 people where it's just like, all right, this is a great combo, and they have this weird amount of clout. And we're going to get them at a really low price. But what is what? I
can't even figure it out.
Nah.
It's really getting on my nerves. Like, it's really... Or even just some event on social media. It's just like Prince Harry, or what is it? Was it Harry and Meghan Markle or something? Is it Harry? Yeah, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. And it's literally just MGK. And they're just there. And no one even says anything. It's just like the Obamas. Michelle Obama's just there with Megan Fox.
You know what might be really funny even would to be just to, on our Instagram page, just start posting a lot about MGK.
We just keep on posting, Like, we just keep on bringing them up in the conversation. Like, we just post photos of them in it. It's a good bit.
It's a great bit. It's such a funny bit.
It's, oh, goodness gracious. But, Yeah, how are we going with time? Anything else we gotta add on? I think my phone might be
I'm
dying.
thinking we probably should wrap it. This is
Yeah.
probably the longest episode we've done. I'm not gonna lie, this is probably the funniest episode we've done.
Oh yeah, we've kept it so loose. It's been a fun one for the people.
Oh baby, we are Hollywood.
Ooh-wee!
We're going Hollywood. We're gonna be the next MGK.
We want to be, yeah, and Megan Fox. And it's funny, we talk about them. I can't even remember I can't remember Megan Fox's name as soon as I say it. That's the craziest part. I'm like MGK and Megan Fox.
This whole thing is weird. It feels fabricated.
Yes, and I love it. I actually really like it. Whatever kind of.
As well.
I want to see more of it. I want them to just be more and more in the media.
You know what? Before this episode comes out, I'm gonna get on the Instagram page and just on the story and just post a million pictures of the two of them.
Yeah, I would love it.
Do
you know what's happened? Do you know what's happened? I realized it. Whoever's some PR agency, right, or something like that, they don't understand how Instagram works, and they've spent a little bit of time looking at them, and their explore page is just showing photos of them. Maybe it's happening worldwide. Everyone in the world has accidentally clicked on a photo of Megan Fox and MGK, and it's gone. It's just by chance spread.
Right. Yes.
Like, I know even myself, like 90% of my explore feed is just llamas now. And like, they're fine, but I kind of want them to go away, but like, they won't.
What are they? Llamas?
Yeah. Oh, actually, no, not llamas, alpacas.
Right.
They're pretty hilarious, but I've noticed I'm just seeing them all the time because I've accidentally clicked on them a few times, like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, true.
But that's how that stuff happens. I feel someone's done that with MGK and Megan Fox.
I can't even wrap my head around.
Yes.
So weird. I'm gonna search like a hashtag or something.
I know. I'm literally looking it up. Look, 420 tweets in the last hour. MGK. Why? What's he doing? Oh, here we go. That's very funny. MGK made weed uncool. So I'm gonna stop smoking. Oh, it's the whole I am weed thing. Maybe it's just kind of like a meme thing.
I think that might be what it is. You've got two people who are like at 55% each.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's like 100. That's like 110%, and that's better than anything else out there.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
If you've got like,
because I was just thinking,
Jay-Z?
That's exactly what I was just thinking. Who else is like kind of got that?
Kanye and Kim. But again, Jay-Z and Beyonce makes sense. They're a thing. They're actually they're doing things. I don't know if Megan Fox has done a movie in years, like 10 years.
No, I just don't know. If someone
is such an average musician, I don't think he's selling that much. Maybe in that punk rock field.
I just don't know. Anytime I see a picture or anything.
Look, I'm just looking at like GQ magazine, and they're just like the cover of it. Why?
Yeah, they're on the cover of GQ magazine.
Figure it out. It's maybe he did that Netflix movie that was pretty big. Maybe it was bigger than we know. That
He was in the Motley Crue movie?
Yeah. Yeah, it's become a thing for some weird reason. They've become a meme. Like Miley Cyrus has just said, "I am weed," and she's dressed up like MGK.
You know what it probably is, it's an annoying trend, and then this one has such a palpable kind of face to it. You know what I mean?
I think I'm looking at it more and more. I think it's a meme. I think people are doing this semi-ironically. Semi. Oh, here we go. Yeah. What is it? I can't even. That whole "I am weed" thing has got people going.
But even then, I don't like what people are doing with it. I'm not like that's.
Oh, actually, do you know what's happened? I'm starting to figure it out more and more. So Kim Kardashian was on SNL last week. I think we talked about what the SNL did a bit about MGK and Megan Fox.
Yeah.
So it's been this thing, and it went on SNL, so which basically brought it to the mainstream.
Yes. Yeah. True. Oh, but we really should wrap it there.
Yeah, we got to get this one going. Yeah, no, of course, I got it.
Jesus Christ, I can't wait for next week.
Oh man. Oh yes, we're back in person.
Isn't that crazy? We've just done possibly our best episode on
Zoom.
on
Zoom, and now we're having to go back to the hacky guests we usually have.
Yeah, what are we gonna do? We're gonna have a guest. We're gonna go just us two for the first. We'll work it out.
We'll figure something out.
I'm gonna stop the recording now. Then I'll we can talk in the lobby for a sec.
This is our last one, folks. Last on Zoom for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
Be real.
Peace.
Peace out. Yo.